Okay. Let me say this real quick so that we can all just be on the same page. Okay. Redemption arcs. The dramatic heel change near the end of the story, thus giving us the happy ending. The only reason that happens is because we reach the end of the story. It's the end of the episode. It's the end of the movie or whatever. So the dramatic heel turn has to happen, and it is this dramatic heel turn because it's like I've been an antagonist or I've been a villain. I've been dogging you, good guys this whole time, or whatever their target is this whole time. And it's like, well, wait a minute. Circumstances change. I'm no longer the bad guy anymore. No, I'm this thing. And it happens literally like that because we've reached the end. So it's not necessarily, it's not anyway realistic. It's because we've reached the end of the runtime and the redemption has to happen for us to like the character. And in every single fucking cartoon that I've seen in the past 20 years, that had a redemption arc, from the ones that pioneered it, from, Avatar to, I don't think Star really had it, per se. Sorry. Something stuck in my mouth. Anyway, there was all the way up until She-Ra, Princesses of Power, and Starverse Forces of Evil, which is now finally ended. With all this stuff happening so far, whenever the story says we need to have a redemption arc, they shovel it in, but it only happens due to the runtime. That's why it's so improbable. That's why it doesn't get stretched over an arc, really, in current cartoons, is because, multiple episodes, but we're episodic, or whatever. We're one-shots, we're Saturday morning episodes, not weekday morning episodes too much, So why have story arcs for multiple episodes when we can just have a dramatic and unrealistic heel turn? Nobody does that. Nobody just does a dramatic heel turn in real life. That doesn't happen. It's a fantasy. It's a phallus or whatever. It's a lie. It doesn't happen. It's very unlikely for it to happen. Okay. But the thing is, it just doesn't happen. The most realistic thing in Steven Universe is that Lily does not talk about. Lily, Tree, Peach, whatever her name is, left out of the Steven Universe's Garbage and Here's Why. But the only good point they got that was when Garnet, during the Peridot story arc, where they were trying to capture Peridot when she was alone on Earth, it took them forever to find her, which is kind of realistic, but then it's like kind of more get to the point of like kind of get going with your stories, is that when they when it was called the message, or the message received, no, cry for help, when cry for help happened, what it was is that Garnet's thing was about fusion. It's all about the representation of her love. That's what keeps her together, with Ruby and Sapphire. What Pearl wanted to do is be a part of something again, because she's been single for the past 10 years, and it's really lonesome since you've been together with your girlfriend or whatever for the past 10,000 years, or however long it has been. So when they did that episode, and Pearl kind of tainted, abused the concept of fusion, Garnet was pissed. And it held for at least 2 episodes, maybe 3, I can't remember if it was 2 or 3 episodes, but it crossed over until the next episode, because they said at the end of the first episode, they said that, why can't real life be more like cartoons where everything's wrapped up and resolved, and any friendship problems are done after the end of the 30 minutes. They're kind of making fun of that happens. That a dramatic heel turn or resolution or problem solving happens by the 20 to 30 minute mark with commercials. So, when it continued into the next episode or 2 of Pearl trying really hard to get Peridot, and to appease Garnet, saying, "I'm sorry, you're Peridot," you know. And Amethyst saying that's not going to be enough. She could serve over Peridot on a silver platter, and it still wouldn't make a difference. They had to actually work on making things okay. Kind of literally forced, but they had a moment to themselves. So, yeah. So Pearl asks, "Is there anything I could do to just make you forgive me?" And he says, "You can't. You betrayed us. You took advantage of the concept of fusion for your own real gain." And yeah, people, it's called being a third wheel. It's called a hangers on, nepotism. You're trying to apply yourself to already an established person or persons, or who are in a relationship at that time, meaning Garnet, and trying to improve your worth to neither people or to yourself because you're applying yourself to that person or persons. But the thing is, Pearl is anal. She is desperate. She wants to feel a connection. She had a connection. She was madly in love with it to the point where she was willing to kill herself. For her love. Now, all right. Now, and now leaving that, she gets she just wants to have something in her life. Now, I know this. I have been single my entire adult life. I feel a connection to Pearl. Now, having them have to kind of resolve this, and Garnet having to tell her that you cannot have your self-value be nepotism. You can't attach yourself to something else in order to feel greater. You have to feel good about yourself for just being you on your own. You have to find your own self-worth within yourself. Yes, that is true. Again, that's not the whole thing. But being part of a family does help. That's the other half of the time. There's always the other half of the time. Yes, you have to find your self-worth and start whining. You have to kind of get over the fact that Rose Quartz is not here. You have to find your own self-worth. You have to like yourself for your own reasons. And then family the other half of the time. But Pearl has to fill that time. She has to realize that there's another part of it. You don't have to be part of a group to feel valued. You have to find the value within yourself. And I kind of like that they had to tackle such a complex and personal theme and have it over 2 episodes. I thought that was really smart and clever and really grown up of Steven Universe. But then the rest of the time is almost full of nothing but shit. So it's like, Steven has its briefest of moments where they will rise up and tackle something challenging and hard and over 2 episodes or whatever number of episodes. And then feel long strings of bullshit. Well, we kind of think, that's kind of funny, or that's kind of neat, or okay, Last Person Out of Beach City was entertaining, though very little was actually done. Again, this is Pearl trying to find her self-worth, because this is after Cry for Help is Last One Out of Beach City, and I thought, well, this is going to be some other filler episode. Oh, it's Pearl-centered. Oh, okay, we get that. We see how Pearl is boring, because Pearl, much like me, has no life. Like I said, I resonate with Pearl to a certain extent. So when we see she's home with whoever just happens to be there at the time to play a board game, and they say, well, why don't we go to this party? Pearl has to be dragged along, talked into it. She doesn't feel a real connection to any real humans, really. And then they get to the convenience store, and there's someone who looks like Pink or Rose. And yeah, spoilers. And so she's like, I didn't know humans came in that color. Are you sure it's the color or the color and the face? Because I think it's more of the face than the color. And so Steven claiming to, because they know fans are going to, gripe about this, because, in any realistic terms, who the hell is going to confuse that, not understand that Clark Kent is Superman? That's what everyone kept griping about to all the actors. It goes, how come you can't tell? These are little kids. How come you can't tell that Clark Kent is Superman wearing those stupid glasses? And the first Lois responds with, because I don't want to lose my job. So Steven in the back seat says, I know she looks like Mom. You know she looks like Mom. We all know she looks like Mom. So we know that that Pearl's going to fixate on that. And so that became her driving force to get to this party and talk to this mysterious girl who she kind of has a resemblance to her previous love. And so Pearl gets there, has one single brief conversation, and gets her number. The fact that someone actually got someone's number in a cartoon was a fucking blow to the face to me, because I'm like, wait, what? Someone got a number? Damn, that's never happened before. I've never seen that, and I've seen a lot of cartoons. I've seen a lot of shows. I've seen a lot of everything. Very rarely does a U.S. cartoon ever say, yeah, sure, here's my number. Yeah, Connie gave Steven her number, but that's the house number. That's different. That's because, well, they're kids, and kids share house numbers. If it was cell phone number, yeah, that'd be a bit more different. And of course, that's more out of friendship than it is out of romance, because Steven and Connie have more of a subtle romance. Because, not that he doesn't know how to express that, okay, both of them are not sexually active yet, but they do know what intimacy is to a certain extent. So when they're close and they're dancing, this is just us being close, This is brought within that zone of personal space. You're allowed in. That's why they fuse, is because you're willing to let that person in. So they do know what intimacy is, so that's what triggers the fusion, like with everyone else. And they know each other's little not nicknames, but little pet talk, couple talk, where they say, during the Beach City Drift episode,